Hey guys, it's Christina. This is Vox and Guest, and I am sitting with both Freaky and Things. We have Freaky Things in the house. Say hello, Chuck, Chuck and Joe.
Chuck.
I like Chuck. That's your ship name now. If you guys are a couple, it's better than Cho, right?
Yeah.
I like Chuck.
Joey. We could be Joey.
Joey. I should have changed my name. Joey.
No, I'm going with Chuck. It's 100% Chuck. So Chuck, say hello. Tell everybody what you guys do in the band.
Chuck.
Both of you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go, Chuck.
I play.
Already off the rails. We're a minute in. We're already off the rails. Chuck, why don't you tell everyone what you do first? Chuck, go ahead. Chuck, speak.
Joe, why don't you tell what you do first? Because mine's a laundry list of junk.
Okay.
So I am the singer and co-writer. That's about everything I do. And then I'm the, face of Freaky, I guess. I don't know.
You're definitely the face of Freaky.
What?
And I like that you've now changed your name officially to Juck. This is great.
I'm not Things? Okay.
Would you rather be, you could be Juck and Things if you want. So go ahead, Juck. Tell everybody what you do. Give everyone your laundry list.
I'm the guitar player.
And
that's really it. I'm the guitar player.
And
the guitar player. I'm the guitar player. I played. That's it.
Oh my God!
Well, let's be honest.
Don't
he does
you
all
also
the mixing.
wright?
He does all the instruments.
And record and mix and master. And don't you do all that too?
I don't.
He doesn't really need me. He just brings me along. So
yeah, I do. We're just doing this. I mean, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. Honestly. It's like, if a real person came in here and looked at what I was doing, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? I just play guitar, and
I don't know about that. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. But all right,
I use some drum software and do a little do, and then try to think about what a drummer would do and go, crap, I wish I knew how to play drums. And then when I can get a friend to play bass, because even as a guitar player, I still play bass like a guitar player, which sucks. Right. So it's like I'm trying to. It's like I've been doing that for 30 years, and I'm like, I need to learn how to play bass like a bass player.
Oh my God! Well, this is quite the intro that we've done here. Juck has really sold themselves, I think. It's like we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we like it anyway. You're an honest guy. I appreciate that. All right. We'll get into all of your honesty and I will debate all of that with you in a minute. But I don't know, Juck, if Joe has prepared you for this, but we do like to start every show with an intense, meaningful, important question. Okay. So I know, Joe, that we're buddies. You're a big friend of the show, and you're sitting there in the chat right now. But I can't be easy on you. You know that.
I understand.
Okay.
And I did not prep myself. I totally forgot to prep myself for this. So
okay. Just, if you have loins, gird them because it's happening right now.
Toilet paper.
No, that's later.
Oh, that's later.
That's later. That's a whole other conversation. No, this is equally important, though. This is equally important. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to need you each to answer and defend your positions. Okay. What are the best and the worst condiments and why? So ketchup, mustard, mayo, soy sauce, any of it. You have to pick.
Oh my God, that's so simple.
Oh, okay. All right. We have a big bold. Okay, go for it.
First, best or worst?
Both, whatever you want.
Okay, worst, mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's white and creamy. I stay the hell away from that stuff.
Okay. Well, everybody's got their own taste, but all right. So no white and creamy for you.
No white and creamy for me. It stays away.
So you are in the anti-mayo camp, but what is your best condiment then?
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, I'll eat a can of sauerkraut.
They can sauerkraut? I thought it came in bags.
Well, no, it comes in cans and bags, whatever. As a kid, I used to open up a can of sauerkraut and eat it on the way down to my friend's house.
That is disgusting, Chuck.
Well, I used to eat you. You guys drink beer. I drink Yoo-hoo and Reese.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say you used to eat uterus, and I was like, this is taking a weird. Yoo-hoo is less weird, just by a little bit. Okay. So you are anti-mayo, but you will go ham. Pardon the mixed metaphor on a bag or a can of sauerkraut en route to someone's house.
Yes.
Okay. So, but why sauerkraut?
I don't know. It might be about. I just love the way it tastes. I love it's crunchy. It's sour. It's kind of sweet.
Crowdy. Okay.
And it also, not too many people think it's kind of weird, and I'm a little strange.
I actually happen to love sauerkraut, so I'm right there with you. I'll have sauerkraut and a little bit of salt on it, and I'm good to go. So okay, all right. So no mayo, pro kraut. All right, Joe. The
worst is sauerkraut. That is the absolute worst. I can't believe we're friends right now.
You may not be after that. I don't know.
That's disgusting, dude. And you eating, it's just. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
So
portable sauerkraut.
The best is mustard, spicy mustard, any type of mustard. Is absolutely the best.
Well, wait, Zarda baked beans would be a condiment because you can put that on a hamburger.
No, beans are not a condiment. Stop it.
They are in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City. Well, maybe, but I'm calling an audible on that one. Besides, you've already committed to the kraut, so we can't go with
the baked bean thing.
Let's
go. Are you changing from?
No, me and Chuck we're together again. So. Baked beans.
You're the beans to his kraut, and he's the kraut to your beans. Maybe we should call you Freaky Beans from now on. I don't know. We could do that.
Oh, the cat's gonna go crazy there.
Okay, look at that, Freaky Beans. Okay, so I gotta admit, Chuck, you threw me with the sauerkraut. I don't necessarily automatically think of that as a condiment, but what else could it be? It's not a side dish.
No, it's
a garnish, but I think no. Okay,
it goes on, it's a condiment.
Okay. Did you say it goes on hamburgers?
Of course.
No.
Yes.
You can't do that.
I've only ever heard of sauerkraut on a hot dog.
And Polish sausage.
I've never heard of that on a hamburger. I've never seen anybody put that on a hamburger.
Come on. Sauerkraut goes on a lot of stuff that's gone to grill.
It goes
on a grill. You put the sauerkraut on the grill.
How the fuck do you grill sauerkraut? Doesn't it just fall through the grill?
No, you put it on the tinfoil and heat it up.
I don't know.
You probably eat the tinfoil too, don't you?
No, he wears it like a hat because I think at this point that's where we are. But okay, so look at this. This is a blockbuster series of revelations here. We have kraut, anti-mayo, anti-kraut, pro mustard. Seriously, we need just little pom-poms for you. And some hot pants, and you are all over the place. That is some freaky things right there. All right, okay. Listen, if you guys in the chat have not figured this out by now, these two have been friends since the earth cooled. Okay, so I think it's pretty obvious. But I want you guys to take me in the Wayback Machine and tell me how each of you got into music in the first place, and then how'd you guys hook up and become friends?
Well, the older person goes first.
Oh, okay. So that will be me.
It's just barbalicious over here.
Wow. I mean, it's early too. We're in the episode. I guess the big thing about me, like discovering music, my dad told me awesome stories. Like when I was like really little. I mean, me and my brother used to run. I mean, we would just run everywhere,
Okay.
And it was at the Mississippi State Fair because that was where that was where my dad was. I visited every summer.
Your dad lived at the Mississippi State Fair and you visited him there every summer?
I mean, that's where I visited.
He just lives full time.
He took me to the Mississippi State Fair. There was some music playing.
Gotcha.
Because it was the only time I ever just sat there and was just
okay.
And
that got you to focus.
Yeah,
okay.
He knew that was it. At an early age. So that's kind of where I came from musically, and then Elvis, Kiss. I mean, then the heavy metal. I mean, just went.
Wait a minute. You cannot Elvis Kiss heavy metal. You can't just throw that out as like one sentence and have that be the. You went from Elvis to Kiss to heavy metal. So okay, so you knew you were captivated by music, but at what point did you figure out you wanted to play? Well, sing, play, be involved in a band, like.
Oh, I knew it right away. I mean, like,
okay.
So my mom's best friend that lived next door was the biggest Elvis fan I ever met. I mean, her whole house was Elvis. You know.
Wow. So
every time I walk in there, it's playing.
Okay.
It's playing.
Wow.
And it just, I mean, that shook me. You know, I mean, I was like
all night long.
Those were my first records.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then I rolled into Kiss. I mean, that's when I knew. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Paul Stanley is my freaking hero. I love that dude.
Okay.
And that's kind of where it went. I knew it right then.
So from Elvis to Kiss, we know. And then at what point did metal enter the picture?
Oh, I mean, like, when Priest came out, Iron Maiden, Dio's a big one for me. I mean, Dio's probably one of my favorites ever.
Okay. So you like theatrical, you like big, you like, okay. That tracks for me. Okay. Okay. And so were you always comfortable singing, or was this like something you did, but nobody really heard you do?
Oh, no, I was horrible.
Okay.
I probably still am, but I do it.
So, but like, how did you get into actually singing then, though? Because like, that's, did you just like were you in bands before this? What was the deal?
Yeah. So, the big thing with the bands, I mean, early on is, this is early 80s, we'll show our age here, but, I mean, I jumped right in. I mean, I was like,
okay.
I couldn't really play an instrument really well. I never could. Just never spent the time on it. But I was like, I'll sing,
Okay.
I can jump in front of people and do that,
Okay.
But that's exactly how that happened. So.
Okay. You just jumped in front of people and sang. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Okay. Chuck, how about you? What was your musician origin story?
Oh.
As the younger one.
The younger one. Let's see.
The baby. The naif.
I guess I'll be honest with this one, not be stupid. Seriously, my mom was. We were the music. I don't know where it came from. My earliest memory was my brother and sister are a lot older than I am.
Okay.
So my brother had a room above, like in this. He like had the attic room.
Okay.
And you'd walk up to his room. He was 17 years older than me. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and my sister was, I think, 13 years older than me.
Okay.
So we had the bubblegum pop coming from her room, and we had Boris the Spider blaring from the Who coming from my brother's room.
Okay.
And the Beatles. So it's like, I remember going to my brother's room thinking this was a lot cooler than Sean Cassidy. And or whatever.
I got to agree with you on that, yeah.
But it was 1974. I saw something, or I was really into Deep Purple.
Okay.
More than anything. And I don't know where I heard it, but Smoke on the Water was it.
That was the gateway. Okay.
It was the gateway. And then I remember begging my mom, I think it was 1974, California Jam was on, and begging her to let me stay up and watch it on TV. Okay. And like segments of it. And it's like, now I know that it wasn't even Ian Gillan singing, it was David Coverdale. But at the time I had no idea because I was 4 years old. I was just like, that was it. And I thought Richard Blackmore was the coolest thing in the world. And at 4 years old. And then my grandmother, who saw this in me, bought me Kiss Alive.
Coolest grandma ever. Oh my God.
And the next thing you know, I had my blue blanket at 6 years old, and I'm drawing Kiss logos and buying a drum set and putting it up in my room and smashing drums and pretending I'm, that. But I was drawn to Ace.
Okay.
More than anything. I was really shy, and I thought, oh, it'd be cool to be a drummer because they don't have to sit back and.
Right.
But there was something about the guitar. Every time I went to the guitar store, the music store, I just kept getting attracted to that rather than the drums. And it's funny, we bought a drum set when I was really young, and they broke on the way home, and we didn't know how to fix them. It was a hi-hat that broke.
Oh,
and
wow.
we just didn't, and they never got me drum lessons for some reason.
So you had a broken kid and no drum lessons.
Right. And
okay.
my grandmother had come, and she was really the catalyst. She had 65 Fender Mustang and a 67 Moserite, and that was her.
Seriously,
my cousin,
coolest grandma ever.
And a 39 Gibson acoustic, or 38, which I have in the house right here. I play them all the time.
Wow. Okay.
And so whenever I go, and I'm like young, 5, 6, and she had a little amp, and we'd just plug them in and play. I thought, and it was just make noise. I thought it was the coolest. These were the coolest little gadgets ever, electric guitars.
Yeah.
And that's really what got me started. And Kiss, I just thought was the coolest thing ever because they were superheroes, as every little kid did. I mean, if you're a product of the 70s and didn't think Kiss was cool, something's wrong with you. But when I think it was 7 or 8 years old, I remember taking a trip and this is really what got me into the songs. I remember vividly, we took a trip out to Colorado, and on the radio, I kept hearing the song, "I Want You to Want Me."
Okay, Cheap Trick. Okay.
And, oh my God. In my very first album, we came back, and I think it was 9, and we went to a record store down on, well, you guys don't know where it is. Peaches Records. Joe knows.
All right, Peaches. I won't sing the song, don't worry.
No, but my first record I bought with my own money was Dream Police.
Okay.
Which also helped me turn into a photographer later, but that's another story. But something about that power pop, I really fell in love with. And it's like, and I remember seeing like Van Halen records in the record store and the 8-tracks I remember the record scared me. Like the cover of it. It's kind of like Destroyer kind of scared me.
Okay.
Because of the fire and stuff. But I love Kiss, so I was already in there. It's like Rock and Roll Over is my favorite album by them.
Okay.
And so that's really what and it was more about, for me, it wasn't I think it was the concept of everything and the power pop and the sing-along stuff. And it wasn't until I got in kind of middle school, and I think the gateway drug was Def Leppard.
Okay. Now we're starting. I knew we were going to end up in this area. Okay, yeah.
Pyromania hit when it was 12 years old, and it was just like, it just bridged Cheap Trick with Kiss, and it was like, holy. 100%. And then MTV hit, and you saw these guys, and I mean, crap, Rick Allen was like 15. And it's like, and you saw, it's like, wow. And of course, I went immediately, I want to play guitar. And my 14th birthday, I got a guitar. And it's like, I want an Ibanez Destroyer like Rick Allen has. And it was, I was a Def Leppard, and then somebody played me Holy Diver, and Vivian Campbell became, and then it was Dokken, and then I became the biggest Warren DeMartini and Robin Crosby. And then all of a sudden I started growing my hair out like Robin Crosby and Quiet Riot. And then it was just like, bam, bam. But then it was, my girlfriend loved Duran Duran and John Taylor and the bass. And I was like, and they're just those hooks.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that new wave and I couldn't admit it to my hard rock friends.
That's the thing, Chuck. Yeah. I fell into disco too. I mean, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It's like Duran, and I still forget their new album just came out like this week, and I'm like, Dance Macabre. It's freaking so far. I
didn't even know they were still making music anymore.
Oh my God. The last 2 albums weren't go back a couple years ago.
The last one I actually knew about and heard was the Come Undone and all, like, that was probably 15-20 years
ago. Check out Red Carpet Massacre in like the mid 2000s. And then All You Need Is Now is brilliant.
Okay.
And that's like 2009. And then they just released, and then they did a couple that are kind of more dance pop. And then they just released this one like yesterday or today that's called Dance Macabre. And it's like all Halloweenish.
Okay.
And it's really it's really cool.
So we have the coolest grandma in history.
Oh yeah, she was.
Okay. And it's really, what I love about this is putting the two of you together and the roster of names. And there is some overlap there. I hear Dio, but like when I put all of that together, Freaky Things music makes even more sense to me than it did before, because I hear all of that. Maybe not Elvis, but like almost all of that. You know, I definitely hear it, and I think that that's what a great way to both of you get into music. And I mean, Chuck, it sounds like everything kind of lit you up in a way.
Yeah, I was in.
You weren't wedded to, and you too, Joe. If you were going from, you know, Elvis and then disco.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the discovery of music for me. I mean, like,
yeah,
like Chuck was mentioning, all those bands. I mean, I love all those bands too. So it's that progression that you go through, and you discover. I mean, it's kind of like what we do now in the indie community. Is like, oh my God, I love that, and then you can.
Right. You'll hear an Anger Overdose, and you'll hear a Jack Phantom, and then you'll hear a Tralfas, and like you're just like, I like all of this. So I'm right there with you. So okay, but so then when did the two of you join forces and become, you know, the best buddies ever?
Should I do this story since it really involves me?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it involve both of you if you met?
Well, because Joe was in the band already.
Okay.
And since it's, you know, he can tell the story about the band, but
tell it however the hell you want to tell it. Go for it.
I'm glad to tell it. So we were in this band. Can't remember the name.
Savage.
Was it Savage? Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't in the band.
No, that was the name. I remember that. So these guys just came over to my house one day, like knocked on my door. I'm asleep, and my mom's waking me up. They go, "Hey, these guys are here. They want to talk to you and all that." And so they come in. They're like
musical Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
That was a wild time. I mean,
you all went to the same high school, though, right?
Yeah, we well did. I knew some of the guys and all.
Okay,
that.
At least you knew. Okay, all right, that helps. Yeah. Okay, all right.
They were like, "Hey, man, we really need a singer. Will you come over?" Blah blah blah. We were getting ready to this guy, and our name's Savage and all that. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'll come over and do that." So we kind of like just we were young. I mean, we were 16, 17.
Please show a picture.
Okay. Oh well, I'll send them.
Yeah, we'll put it here. Here we go. It's probably up on the screen right now, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I joined with them, and I kind of learned their tunes that they were doing, and then we started writing a lot more. But we were so young and just trying to figure our way.
Yeah. And this was an originals, metal band?
Everything I've ever been in is original.
Right. So, was it metal? Was it Savage? I figured the name maybe hair metal-ish.
Typical 80s rock that you.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty.
Hair metal's a bad.
Hair metal.
It's a bad term. It's hard rock.
Hair metal. Butt rock.
It's hard rock.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. We had hair and we rocked.
We had hair.
We still have hair.
Have hair. Okay, so you were learning Savage, and
so that was the name, and I remember being on. Chuck, were you with me when I changed the name?
No.
So we're playing. I think it's our second show, and I was trying to come up with different names for the band. I kind of ran it by them. I was like, "What do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And we all kind of decided, like, "Oh, that sounds like a good name." White Lies with a Lize was the name.
Wow.
You got to have a different spelling, back then. So,
it was the 80s. You couldn't spell anything the way you expected. Absolutely.
So I decided while I was on stage, between songs, I was like, "We're changing our name. We're going to White Lies." Everybody's like going, "What?" So after we did that, then basically we got Chuck in the band. We needed another guitar player, and that's kind of where Chuck came into play.
And I think the story is going over to you now, Chuck.
Okay, so I'm in high school one day, and I walk by this girl's locker, and she's got a poster of White Lies, and I see these 4 names: Sean, Joey, Brad, and PJ, or Brad Hamilton, which was the guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I'm like, these names can't be real, because I knew Sean, and his name wasn't real. He had changed his name. I'm not going to tell his real name, but his name was not Sean Devins.
Okay.
Because he went to our school and then left, and I'm like, they're all bogus names because nobody has those cool names. And she was totally in love with this guy named PJ. And and they were like this cool band, White Lies, and I'm like, oh my god,
You guys had posters and everything.
Oh
and,
yeah.
you know, and so she had these posters in her locker.
Okay.
So fast forward till I'm in college now, and I'm in art school, and midway through the semester, I put an ad at a local music store that I'm a guitar player looking to be in a band because my high school band sucked and broke up. And,
as they do, yeah.
Right. And I get a call from this guy named Brad in White Lies. And I go over to his house and he answers the door. And then I quickly realized that it wasn't him. It was his sister, Kathy, and they look identical at the time.
What the fuck? Okay. Brad and or Kathy lets you in, and okay.
I go downstairs, meet Brad, and he's like, well, hi, I'm Brad. And he's very businesslike, very professional, and they've got everything set up in this. And he was just straight to the point. He goes, listen, I really, you know, it's like, here's the deal. We've got this, we think we need another guitar player. I really don't want another guitar player, but I got outvoted. So
great.
I'm just going to show you
warm welcome from Brad or Kathy.
Great. Show you these songs.
Okay.
Brad is the nicest guy in the world, though. It was funny to hear that.
Okay.
So he showed me these songs, and it kind of we kind of played alike. And I listened to the tape, and I'm going, oh, it's cool. This is a band that actually has got a singer that can sing.
Okay. Yeah, because that's not a given. That's very true, and especially in the 80s. So
and again, I knew the drummer, and the drummer was kind of a jerk to us in high school and picked on us. And so I thought that was kind of funny. And I said, well, I learned the songs pretty quick. There was like a little 4-song EP.
Okay.
And he showed them to me. So I think Brad liked me enough, and I'm personable enough, I guess, that he called the drummer over, and then he came down, and I couldn't resist calling him by his nickname, which he didn't like when he first came down.
Making friends all over the place here. Okay.
Continues to this day. So, but he came over, and the next thing you know, it's like we're playing. And I remember what I remember the most is with Joe is they got me in the band, and the first time I really felt accepted, which was kind of cool because it was the first time I was in a band that I felt like was really decent. And I remember going to the mall and seeing Joe in these white pants and cowboy boots with his girlfriend, now his wife. And Joe was like excited. Hey, Tara, meet Chucky. This is our new guitar player. And he was like so excited to like introduce me and show me around.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And it was cool because I was like this Blue Valley. I know this didn't make any sense, but I was kind of a country kid.
Okay.
And they were more of the city kids.
Okay.
And at the time where we were from, I kind of lived out in the boondocks, and
I gotcha. So different.
Cool. Cool. They kind of took me in and showed me around. It was kind of neat. And Joe was a little bit older, and he kind of took me under his wing. He
acts like you're 1,000 years old.
Like grandpa over here.
At the time, it really.
No, when you're young like that, even a couple
when you're
years
18 and you've got a 21-year-old,
it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
it does. And it was just and also it was like I kind of respected these guys.
Sure.
And so it's like I felt like I played on them.
Yeah,
I know. Anyway.
So then you got brought in. You liked Joe's voice right away, and Joe, I assume you figured out very quickly how talented Chuck is on guitar. So that was that was a no-brainer. And so at what point, unless I've missed a memo, at some point White Lies must have split up because you are now Freaky Things.
Down that rabbit hole.
Do you want to go there?
I don't know that much about this because I wasn't even really I was still like, if I was late to practice, I had to prove that I got a speeding ticket.
Okay.
Because Brad was like, Chuck, we really can't be late to practice.
Oh, okay. Brad was a stickler.
I mean, it was, as many times as I've saved these guys' life.
That's true.
I don't drink.
Chuck doesn't drink, and we did pretty.
And I was everybody's designated driver
forever, right?
I
was always the designated driver too. I feel your pain. Yeah,
so, you know, and there you go.
We gave Chucky chocolate milk, and he was good.
Jolt Cola was.
Oh my God, Jolt Cola!
Oh my God, yeah, it was awesome. It's like, get me on stage. I'm like,
you didn't need to drink. You were on Jolt. Holy shit. Okay, so at some point, White Lies disbanded, and
let's put it this way. I honestly don't know why, but I came in and said, hey, we're getting rid of Joe. I didn't really even have a say in it because I was still so new. The next thing you know, they get this other guy in, and it didn't really work out that well. And then they brought in another guy, and by this time it was already so far along that I was like, and they brought in another guy that I kind of like, should we get him? And I'm like, I kind of knew him from another band. I'm like, well, if we're gonna get somebody, let's get this dude.
Okay.
And he we went from kind of a hard rock band to more of a glam rock band.
Oh, okay.
So and then we changed our name to Downtown Clown, and it was the same band with a different singer, but we really became a completely different band.
Different band, yeah, okay.
Which is its own thing. And so you've got these two bands that really did kind of change. And that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever that then Downtown Clown, whatever, everything, something, you know, it all blew up at some point. When did you guys, because I mean, you've known each other so long, and it's not like Freaky Things has been around for decades at this point. So what was the trajectory to get you guys to become Freaky Things as it is now?
Should I take that one?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You always have to ask.
Everybody already knows me. They haven't even heard you. So I want.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe the late 2000s, the Downtown Clown, and was it late 2000s, maybe 2010, maybe? It's like Downtown Clown. We all were back in Kansas City, which is where we're all from.
Right.
And we kind of got together in the drummer's basement and we kind of jammed. And I know we did it with Downtown Clown, and then Joe came over and we did it with White Lies.
Okay.
And then we did it again. It just kind of like once a year, we kind of got together and just did it again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It just kind of played. And then one year we decided, let's try to actually play for real.
Right.
Like without just getting together and just kind of screwing her off.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we got together and actually rehearsed a little bit. And that was kind of interesting. And so we got together and rehearsed this stuff. And I don't know if that was the year that I recorded the 3 songs.
Yeah, I think so. Well, so yeah, go ahead. I mean, so Chuck brought these songs that, well, he re-recorded them that we never recorded them in White Lies, I think.
Well,
they were on practice tapes or something, right?
I have all these practice tapes because I kept all this stuff.
Sure.
And I digitized them. These guys, how they didn't remember this stuff blows my mind. But they were drunk.
I was going to say they drank. They forgot that's what it was.
I wasn't. And I'm like, how do you not remember this? I mean, it's just, so I'm like, why don't we try some of these songs that we did, but we never recorded?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, I don't remember this at all. And so the practice tapes, so it was hard to hear. So I was like trying to get back into recording a little bit. So I'm like getting my logic going, and I'm thinking this will be a good way to try to figure this out. And I just wanted to record something so the guys could understand the parts.
Okay.
So it could be clear.
Right.
And I'm listening to the practice tapes trying to figure this out. And then we came back and I'm like, Joe, why don't you sing on these? So I had Joe, and so we made these 3 tapes, and the recordings didn't sound half bad. Okay. Like I was like, oh, this is actually kind of, it's funny now because they sound like shit.
Yeah, I know.
but compared to the practice tapes, they were probably like,
they were.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they sounded like fantastic. Like then.
Yeah.
You go back now, you're like, whoa. That, I mean, but how much he's grown as, you know, doing that.
So I was just getting into it. And so anyway, that's kind of how it started. And we did that a couple of years. Well, I think I don't know if you did, but like I never stopped writing. So after Downtown Clown broke up, I came to Tennessee, went to MTSU to study audio engineering, and ended up doing business, and then got into photography, was in a band. And then after I graduated, moved back to Kansas City, was in a band. We actually opened for Joe's band, which was kind of cool. That was the first time I'd seen him in a long time. We played together. And then we moved back to Nashville, and I was in another band and had kids and was still playing. And then, yeah, it was just kind of, so I've always been writing and playing. And I was just like, I wrote a song and I sent it to Joe. I'm like, see what you can do with this.
Okay. And
he came back cause he had the audio, or he had the stuff to record.
Okay.
And he came back within a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, and it was kind of cool. And so we recorded this song. And that was
do we know this song? Is this a song that you got? Okay. No, so it's not a song. Okay.
But Ravaged.
Yeah.
That was Savage. Now it's Ravage. And, and you like sauerkraut, which I believe is made of cabbage. So we got it. All right.
And then I wrote another one, Face Down in the Gutter, which was meant for a model I was photographing.
Okay.
And because she was but then I sent it to Joe, and he was back before she even heard it. It was like, so it was like, because he got this bug to write. And so anyway, and that was like years ago. And, and then it just kind of became this thing between, we were writing for White Lies and tried to get a couple of songs to the guys, and we started doing that. But then I was like, well, this really isn't a White Lies song. And then Joe sent me some old stuff of his and started writing doing stuff. Well, this doesn't really sound. And then we just kind of started. You should see the drive space that we have of songs. Like to see people working on all these songs are written 2 years ago.
Okay.
But that's recent. We've got stuff going back 5-6 years.
Oh yeah.
And you can take over, Joe.
No, it is so funny how me and Chuck work. So like when he mentioned at that very starting point, so where we were at, it was like he would send me something. He goes, I don't know if this is any good. Yeah, we were that, Yeah. So he'd send it to me. I'm like, that's pretty fucking good. Let me do something real quick, Yeah. Because I can take his music. He brings it to me, and with no melody, no lyrics most of the time.
Okay, that was going to be another question, but okay.
Yeah, most of the time. Now there's times he'll send me the full thing where he's sang on it. He goes, I think this is the way it should be,
Okay.
And but most of the time it's nothing, He goes, just check this out, see what you can do with it, and that's where I go to town on it, And I love that. I just love how me and him work in that way, especially early on when we were going, does this suck? Or I don't know if this is really us, but check it out.
Our working song titles are kind of 90s STP sounding thing with the little cards thrown in. That's the song title.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, sort of Def Leppard. We just go on and on.
From now on, you need to release them with the working titles, because that would be awesome.
No, we don't do that.
But before we get any further, because we're starting to get into the sound and everything, I think this would be a good moment, because Freaky, what is everyone in the chat saying right now?
Song.
They want the song. We may not get it in under the half-hour mark, but that's okay, because it's worth waiting for, because we are playing something that will, I think, have just come out. Right?
Yeah.
But right now, as of this moment, when we're taping it, nobody's heard it yet but me. So I'm very excited. So we are going to play a song called Nightmare. You guys want to say a little something about it before we play it?
Chuck?
You wrote this was what? I was going through my thrash metal phase?
Yeah.
Okay, or my 80s metal. Well, I'm always in my 80s metal phase.
In your 80s metal.
What we are, right? We are a blend of just about everything. But no, it was just a fun song. The lyrics are they're fun. It's about having a nightmare, you're asleep, you wake up, you don't know where you're at. you're thinking about weird stuff, perfect Halloween song.
It really is. I was just thinking that. Yeah. All right. So guys, listen, if you haven't heard it yet, which I know, but by the time this airs, if you haven't heard it yet, you're in for a treat, because as I think I told them, this may be my new favorite. So this is Freaky Things with Nightmare. I have to say, you guys, first of all, there's no way to listen to your music and not have a good time. Like, you just can't do it. The music is, first of all, it's so specific to an era. I mean, we've been talking about it, the 80s hard rock, 80s metal. I'm not going to use the phrase hair metal, even though I actually happen to consider it a compliment. But, it's definitely, very much of that time and that genre and that feel. But what I love about it is that you guys managed to hit that note perfect without making it sound retro or stale or old or cheesy or any of that. And I think that it is that in and of itself is really cool, because I think there are bands that do that kind of music now, but it's almost like with a little wink, like, well, we're not really doing it. We're just like, remember this stuff. And then there are the bands that feel it, live it, breathe it, and again, going through your influences from when you guys were first starting out, it makes so much sense to me, because whether it's Nightmare, which again, I love that track. I really do. I mean, I think it is, it's just like balls out. It kicks you in the face. It starts, it does not stop. It has you the whole way through. And I mean, just anytime you have a hooky, catchy chorus like that, you got me, I'm sold, right? So, but like for all of it, for everything that I've heard you guys do, and I know there's obviously a hell of a lot more given the disc space that's being used up than what we've gotten to hear yet. But, you guys have a distinctive sound, and you clearly have a kind of music that you want to be making, right? So, I mean, was it just, was that because, Chuck, your guitar is so perfect for this genre, or this collection of genres, really, because I mean, you can't shred like that on every kind of music, right? But like, is it more that you make that kind of music because that's the way you like to play? Or do you just happen to play that kind of music really well, so you do it because you can? Or is it a little bit of both? Or how did what Freaky Things was definitely going to be happen?
I'm not very good at guitar. No, hold on. I know. I finally started taking lessons. Thank God for my guitar teacher that I took lessons from when I was 17. Okay. He's helping me understand a little bit of what is going on. But so when I pick up the guitar, it's like the first thing I go to is that. Here's my problem. Here, you said it perfectly. Thank you. That's a great compliment what you said. I think a little bit of it is, and it's a bad trait in some ways that I haven't, my brain still is like 16, 17 years old. Which is not good, especially for somebody my age. But I think with that comes, it's kind of like we said, I hear a lot of older bands trying to
recapture the glory or stuff.
And a lot of times it's like, I'm just like,
it doesn't connect because it's not genuine. And
sometimes I think it's just songwriting. I think sometimes the songs just fall short. Personally, it's interesting. I don't know if you heard the new Stone. Like, I know the Stones album came out, but they released a song a couple of weeks ago. Have you heard it?
I literally only listen to indie music now. I really don't hear anything else anymore. I really don't. I don't have time.
It is the craziest thing. There's something about Mick Jagger. He still sounds like a snotty 17-year-old.
Yes.
It's like, that's one guy, like the new song. I haven't heard the album, but at least the song that they released a couple of weeks ago, it's like there's something about it that still sounds like piss and vinegar. It's just he's still got it at that age. He's still got that youthful, just kind of like screw the world, like in his voice.
No, I agree with you.
It's one of the bands I work with. Like, I think the new Skid Row still recaptures a little bit of that, the energy. They still are kind of like, whatever.
I didn't know Skid Row was still together either. So, okay.
Yeah. Go check out their new album. It's
okay. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. But like I said, some of the bands are just, and then some newer bands are, I think, like you said, I think they're trying too hard to be something. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't. It's like, I always want to just kind of take my mic and go smash it up against something. It's like the time
don't do that. They're expensive.
No, they're not.
Okay.
I get 4 new mics. It's all good.
Well, I'm still the crazy guy that likes to smash my head against the wall.
Okay.
It's like my daughter will say, "Dad, they're filming you, and I know you're going to be on TikTok because you're acting like you're getting shocked by something on a beam at Target." Because I'll go in like, I'm like, it's hard for me to.
I always called Chucky a true artist.
Okay.
In everything, I mean, seriously, in everything he does,
Really difficult to calm down.
The photography. I mean, he was talking about Skid Row. He did Skid Row's latest album. All that photography and all that. They flew him out to Vegas to do all that. And what he does, teaching. I mean, he teaches at what is it, Chuck? Where do you teach at?
Well, the place I teach at now is called the Academy of Makeup Arts.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
the kids there are kids. I mean, they're 18 and old and older. Some of them have kids. The stuff they do, it's all movie making, body cast and
wigs and yeah.
So brilliant. It's just.
But that's what I love about Chuck, though. I mean, everything he does has some kind of artistic thing about it, and it has to keep him engaged.
Yeah. Well, so I mean that's to kind of distill it a little bit. I mean that's what I mostly took from what you said, Chuck, is that the idea that you, first of all, I don't understand how you could consider yourself not to be a good guitarist. I really literally don't.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
that's what I mean. No, I mean that I'm not saying that it doesn't sound good.
Okay.
I'm saying that like I'll go watch a video. I have to record myself playing so I can remember what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because we're not in a band.
Right.
And we're not practicing every day.
Right.
Which
just to be clear, you guys are not near each other. You're Joe's in Kansas City, you're in Nashville, right? So I mean, this is a distance project, so you're not getting together every week to jam or play out or whatever.
Which would be completely different, which would be muscle memory then.
Right.
But it would be, what am I doing? It's like, why am I? And that's what I'm trying to. The guitar lessons are doing.
Okay.
Just so I can become a better songwriter. It's like, I could play this, over that, because musically that works and it makes it more interesting.
Okay. So you want a little more theory. You want a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. And I understand the theory behind what I'm trying to learn. And believe me, when I moved to Nashville, you talk about becoming humbled. I could not get up and jam with someone. That really, it's like we did a tribute show to Tribute. We did like a Marvelous 3 thing the other night.
Yeah.
And it was just getting up and learning those songs. For some people, I mean, that's just like, I do 1, 4, 5, this, and there's like, they chart it out and they know it right there. For me, it takes a couple of days to learn the stuff.
Right.
Not that I can't do it, but
right. You have a different process, right?
It is, and that's what I mean by I wouldn't consider myself a musician in a musician sense, especially when you're in Nashville. There's no way I could get down and go play on Broadway ever until I learn this stuff. I'm not saying that me playing on this isn't decent, because I can sit here.
Okay. So you're making a very specific semantic distinction here, that it's not that you don't acknowledge that you play well. It's that you almost seem to think that you do it by accident or by instinct.
It's by instinct.
Rather than right.
I can definitely hear. I play by ear. I can hear what I'm doing. I know when something doesn't sound right to me.
Right.
But it's one of those. I'm not and honestly, I think most rock musicians are like that.
Well, and I think it's the kind of thing where people will say that they're not smart, but what they mean is that they're not educated, and there's a difference there, and it's, I don't know that the value of one over the other is greater, but I think that if you,
there's still the ability. It's
right.
Learning,
you're enhancing it
better.
Right. And you're learning about what it is that you do intuitively, which gives you more control over being able to choose to do that going forward. So I hear you. I'm glad you clarified that, because I was gonna throw hands when
and as far as the other stuff goes, I think I've got a lot of pent-up aggression still, just from teenage angst. And I think it comes through a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, and I think that's what keeps it. It's like, I think when I lose that is when it'll start getting boring.
Okay.
Because I'm still like, I'm still wanting to smash guitars across people's faces.
generally frowned upon, both for the faces and for the guitars.
Metaphorically, you know what I mean? It's
right. No, I hear. Well, but I mean, I think that given the fact that you don't actually act on those impulses, it's good. And I think it for the music, it works because there is a ton of energy from both of you, and the thing is that the two of you clearly have chemistry, musically and interpersonally, which helps a lot because if you don't love the people you're playing with, that just at some point that's going to bleed into the music and the listeners are going to, and especially if you're out playing live, but even if people are just listening, they're going to be able to hear and they're going to be able to tell that. But I mean, I think it's you guys are so interesting to me too, because you, given the genres that you really kind of consider yourself to come from, the band that you've put together is not necessarily what you would expect, right? So, I mean, you guys have how much of this was charted out? Like, we're going to make this music. We're going to do this. None of it. Okay.
None.
Big eyes and head shaking. Okay. So then talk to me a little bit about that process, right? So, songwriting, but also just the idea of, because while your stuff doesn't all sound the same, you do definitely have a distinctive sound, right? You'll have, a Rise of the Outlaws that's a little bit more of an outlier maybe to the others. But I mean, for the most part, if somebody's picking up a Freaky Things song, they're going to know that it's you. They're going to know that this is the sound, this is the feel, this is the vibe that you guys have. What, how much of that was, I hear you saying, okay, I wrote something, but like, what are you sending Chuck? Are you sending him usually? Is it riffs? Is it drum beats? Is it just an idea?
Sometimes it's an idea. A lot of times it's almost a full song.
Okay.
Sometimes it's melody. Sometimes I'll sing a first verse.
Okay.
Like I'm usually, I feel like I'm pretty good with verses, melody wise. I'm not good with coming up with hooky choruses.
Okay.
Because I'm too wordy.
Okay.
And
okay.
I can't wait for you to hear Bloodsucker. I mean, seriously, it's like it's almost all keyboards.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Right. It's like I'm playing and it's a weird, like 6/8. It's weird rhythm.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's been on Facebook. I mean, it's not like it's not been out there.
Why did I not find it?
Yeah. I didn't know it was out there.
Oh yeah, the video of us playing. And I took the moans out. It's the
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's been out there for 2 years. It's just been
okay.
But that was before we created Freaky Things. I mean,
there's so much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But that was why we titled it Freaky Things.
Yeah.
We were trying to come up with a title that kind of would fit. Like, we're going to create. Like, how do we create? At first it was, I want to do an EP that's a thrash metal record. I want to do an EP that sounds like The Cult. I want to do an EP that sounds like Duran Duran. I want to do an EP that sounds like Depeche Mode. I want to do an EP that sounds like this. I want to do an EP that sounds like, I mean, I've got stuff that's kind of Violent Femmes, like all kind of acoustic-ish
punk. Okay.
This next EP is kind of more punk.
Okay.
I mean, with Psycho, Beast, and I mean, that's
for that one.
It's
and then we'll turn that. So we did the Magic Songs EP,
right? Which we're gonna get to,
which was really different. It was just that isn't even anything what we did.
No. I mean, we had no idea what the hell we were doing when we did that. I mean,
that was all on me. I'm surprised Joe even went with it.
Just to frame that up for everybody. Okay, so. This is, and they're outing themselves as nerds here, okay, which is good because we love a good nerd here. I'm a huge nerd too, so I totally appreciate it. But the EP Nightweaver, okay, it's called Magic Songs, but that's not just a title, okay. The EP is based on the game Magic the Gathering, okay. So we're not going to get into it for people who don't know. It's kind of a D&D meets Pokemon kind of conceptual thing. It's a whole thing. But, it's this concept of what you guys did here, where you have these, 5 songs that you picked cards I'm understanding this correctly, right? Like you picked cards from a deck?
No, Joe doesn't play Magic. He's not a nerd.
Okay, so you're just a nerd.
I am a nerd.
But the songs are about cards, right?
It was. I'm just going. I play Magic. I've been playing Magic since 1993.
Okay.
And my son and I started playing. I started playing with him when he was 11, like 6. I don't know, he's 18 now. It gave us something to do. Anyway, and I'm looking. Some of these cards are just like, that sounds like a metal song. Hurl through hell, you know. I'm like, and it was weird because this is going to sound crazy. So hurl through hell.
Fit right in. So go right ahead.
So no, hurl through hell. For some reason, I took that song and I'm like, I'm gonna write a song about hurl through hell. I wasn't even involving Joe in this at all.
Okay.
And this had nothing to do with Joe. And I started writing the song, and it was all after Putin invaded Russia or Ukraine.
Okay.
Right? That's when I wrote this, and it was based on that. And I'm like, I know, I was like getting political.
Okay.
And sort of the lyrics were kind of based around that a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. And then I'm like, well, what's another song I could do? And I grabbed, I think it was Approach of the Second Sun, which is a card I absolutely hate being played against.
Okay.
So I'm like, but I'm right that. And then it's like kind of this cool Dio thing because what it was because that comes from a set that was kind of based in an Egyptian theme. Okay. And that's why it's got this whole Dio, the chains are on type of, and I'm like, okay. And I went straight for lyrically what the card's about. And then I came back to the hurl through hell thing and I said, Joe, this is what I'm thinking. And I told him about Magic and he didn't really know it. And I'm like, can you write some lyrics around so I wrote most of the lyrics because I know the game.
Right, sure.
And then I started picking out cards, and I play a card called Eater of the Dead in a deck that I play, and it's all anyway. And so I just started picking cards that I thought were cool sounding, song titles, and I really tried to. And then after the whole concept of let's just write the songs around what the cards do,
right?
And but the first song wasn't originally, but we kind of changed it a little bit,
morphed it. Okay.
Right. And then, but the other four were most definitely. It's like, oh, this is kind of a cool idea. Let's write songs about Magic cards.
So
Joe was into it. So
he sent me this. I think it was Hurl Through Hell was the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fucking shit. I mean, I was like, he goes, I don't think you'll like this, but this is kind of what I'm doing. You want to check it out? We all, that's. I
love that. That's really, always the thing. I don't know if this is good. I don't really like it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it had time changes and tempo changes, and it was like I was doing all kinds of let's do 6/8, let's do 4/4, 3/4.
Thing. That's not a bad
thing. I mean, I heard. I was like, holy shit! And then he's like, oh, well, I got this other idea. I got these other ones, and then I was like, oh my god, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's based off Magic, the Gathering cards, and all. I was like, I don't care. I mean, tell me all about it. I even came down to Nashville, flew down there, and went and watched them play.
Because we play every Sunday.
Wow.
Because I was so I wanted to hear about it. I wanted to see how people
yeah. Well, because it's once you're in it, it is like a Dungeons and Dragons thing or something where once you're in it, and there's this whole lore and there's all this stuff, and it's very intense. But I mean, look, again, being a nerd, I fully support all of that stuff. But I thought it was such a great idea because, these cards, I mean, they're all meaningful in their way. Again, it's like tarot and D&D and Pokemon, all that rolled into one. But you've got this so the EP. Again, it's interesting to me that Hurl Through Hell started lyrically differently, but it fits for me. The drip comes the blood and the sting of steel on the lips and all of that. That could work for a card or for what's been going on politically, obviously. But I found it fascinating because it's The songs all work together really well, but they are different enough from each other that it gives the album a lot of texture. So like I mean we don't have too many songs to go through, so I thought we might go through each of them a little bit more in detail. And like I have to tell you, like Insidious Dreams is probably, I think, my favorite on the album. It's a very different feel for you guys. I mean, first of all, mostly acoustic, right? So right there, you changed it up a little bit. And it's kind of, I would call it a ballad. And if it's not a ballad, it's like the closest thing to it that I've heard you guys do. The lyrics are really interesting. So I want, if you could talk about those a little bit. So I don't know who wrote, was that you on lyrics, Chucky, or?
I think Chuck wrote those.
Okay. So I mean,
most of them.
I think I wrote the chorus. Yeah, we
okay.
There was a couple of things you kind of add. For this thing, except for Bonfire, you wrote a lot of that. But I think for most of this, I wrote most of it because I knew the lore of the cards,
right?
And I was really trying to make it about magic.
Capturing that, yeah.
It's like it's like when that one's all about magic. I mean, like the line about across the plains. We're not talking about planes. We're talking about being because you travel planes like planeswalkers and
right.
It's just, magic players when they listen to
it's very literal if you know the cards, but what's cool is that if you don't, it doesn't matter because the lyrics are really, it's funny, they're both kind of almost romantic but also ominous, which is an interesting combination. And I think that and I also love the fact that I was even hearing in the guitars a little bit of Eagles, actually. Like specifically my favorite Eagles song is I Can't Tell You Why. Do you know that one?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I'm hearing a little bit and I'm going, okay, this is a different feel for Freaky Things. But like it's why that card? Like why did you choose that one? Like I'm curious about why each of the ones that you picked because there are thousands and you could have picked anything really. So what about that card, Insidious Dreams? Like what about that spoke to you? Is that what the card is actually called?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All the song titles are
exactly okay. That's what I thought.
Because it was a cool old card that had a cool title, and it's black. And I'm a black player. Most of the cards are black and red.
Okay.
There's one white card. No blue cards. Blue players are awful. They're mean.
He's teaching us a lot about the magic.
Okay, I guess we have a little fast system going here.
Magic players watching this, I can appreciate what I'm saying. Actually, blue and black are pretty cool, but
okay. So
there's nothing else to it. I just picked it. I was literally just going through some of my cards.
Okay,
and I've got some old cards, and I was like, "Ooh, Insidious Dreams, that's kind of cool." And then I read what the card did, and it was like, "Okay, it's kind of like discarding your hand." It's like this is kind of interesting. It's like kind of giving up for what I'm like. I can kind of make something out of this.
Okay.
And it's all about like, playing the game and seeing what's going to happen and kind of that game of chance that you have whenever you're drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it came, and that, and in fact, that one really feels more like not so much about the card, but more about the game in itself.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And but I guess what I'd like to try to get at, if we can, a little bit is, okay, fine. So you have a cool card. It looks cool. You find out what it does. You find a way to make that into something lyrical, which is already pretty cool. But like when you were putting together the instrumentation for that, how did you end up making the choices that you did? Like, how did it end up mostly acoustic? How did it end up being a ballad? Did it just serve the lyrics? Was it that did the music come first? What was the okay?
The music always comes first, usually.
Okay.
I grabbed my grandmother's 38 guitar, grabbed a capo, put it on the 4th fret, and started playing some chords.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, it's not even deeper than that. It just really is.
No, you know what? It doesn't have to be. I just, I'm always interested in process, right? But so it's funny because you said when we first started talking, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And what I'm taking that to mean now as I'm talking to you more is that you just kind of you do what comes instinctively. You write what comes instinctively, you play what comes instinctively, you pick what comes instinctively, even when it comes to cards. And I think that, it's, you can't really describe a process that's intuitive because you're just doing what you're drawn to do. So you don't have to make it more complicated than that. But I was curious because it is such an interesting concept. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone writing songs or an album based on cards in a game or anything like that. So I thought that was a really cool concept.
Well, because we were out of ideas.
That was it, huh? You'd plumb the depths, and that next is going to be the Super Mario album or something, right?
Maybe. It's talking about songwriting though. It's like, that was just, that's how most of the songs are. I'll just pick up the guitar and let's see if anything comes to me.
Okay.
And if something comes to me, I'll just start singing something.
Yeah.
And then I'll usually come in and I'll record it. And then if I hear it back and I kind of like that. And it just kind of progresses, and that's it. There is one song on that EP that is, I think, more like what you want it to be like, where it did start off specifically trying to do something.
Okay. I don't know that's what I want it to be like.
But it's definitely, and that's Eater of the Dead.
Okay.
That one I wanted to write something in 9/8 time signature.
Okay. Yeah, that song is, guys, that one is that one, and I mean this in the best way. That song is all over the place. Like rhythmically, tempo. No, but I mean that in a good way, because it's, we talk, I think we talked about it on one of the live shows, the idea that certain genres, and especially indie music in general, you don't necessarily end up getting songs that are tethered to a standard song structure, right? You don't have intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out. It's you, and with this song, I mean, you guys do like to play with rhythm, you do like to play with tempo, you do like to play with weird time signatures. I appreciate all of that. But this one in particular, Eater of the Dead, it is so variable, and I was here for it. I really was, because, it starts off, and again, I Freaky knows this. You can attest to this, Joe. I know I keep calling you Freaky, but I can't help it. But that I only ever make comparisons when they're favorable. I wouldn't be like, oh, it sounds like Four Non Blondes and I hate them, so that would not be a good thing. But I start off and I'm hearing some Faith No More. I'm hearing some Poison. Okay, which I'm already in. You don't?
Yes, keep talking. Okay.
He's going somewhere.
He's going to do something.
I was like, he's going to go get a Poison album. I think that's my guess. But and so I'm hearing those elements, right?
Like a CC DeVille guitar. I mean, come on. CC DeVille, Kansas City.
I definitely I get those vibes. I'm sorry, and you have sort of mid tempo there at the beginning. Yeah. So, and then I'm hearing more metal. Like more straightforward metal. Okay, it's gotten slower. It's getting a little faster. Okay, the drums get real big, right? Okay, guitars are going, the chorus comes in, and then you're slowing it back down again. And I'm like, okay, this is getting grittier. I'm hearing some Alice in Chains, especially in the rhythm section. So, okay, cool. I'm there. This song, to me, the drums pop and pop and pop and pop, like all over the place. And I don't think it's just about rhythm and tempo. I think it's the whole feel of the thing, because when the song is changing up as much as it is, you are locking in on the drums to tell you where we are, right? So that's guiding you in the whole thing. So back and forth, rhythm, tempo changes all over the place. Throwing a little
amazing, isn't he?
Very consistent, yeah, and doesn't ask for a lot in terms of pay.
That Tune Track Superior drummer Bob Rock editions are freaking amazing.
Really very agreeable fellow. No, but then you get midway through the song, okay, and all of a sudden it changes again completely. Okay, halfway through, changes completely. We're hearing all this spooky, cackly kind of whatever. Okay, gets very atmospheric for me. Then you throw in this big, solo, which again, I'm so glad that you acknowledge that you're good at guitar, because I was going to yell at you if you didn't. But like and then all of a sudden you've got these big background vocals, right? And you have a woman singing with you occasionally, or is one of you just really good at sounding like that? Is that you, Chuck?
Yeah,
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably have a mix. I'll start out with my background.
It's the painted nails. It's the silver on me.
Love it. Okay. All right. Or, you just somebody stepping on you real hard. No, but I mean, but I love that too, because whoever was doing it adds another layer to it, that really kind of brightens it up. Right. And the lyrics are so dark. I mean, you got graves and zombies and, you're not going to survive this time. Or whatever.
Well, that was you, Joe. Those were your lyrics.
Yeah. But I mean, when you put all of what I just said together, it doesn't sound like it should make any sense. Like it really doesn't. But it really does, though. And what I loved about it was that it was very meta for me. It's this. Because I mean, the little that I know about the game, Magic the Gathering, you give the planeswalkers, right? There are planewalkers, whatever. Like they're just wandering around and encountering things and like fucking shit up, basically, whatever. It's sort of a journeyman kind of thing, right? And so we're in this song, and you start us in one place, and then you take us to another, and it feels like it should be like a 15-minute long song, but it's not. It's what, like 5-6 minutes, something like that.
Very long, but
it's not like it's not like a 15-minute. I mean, I listen to those for indie bands sometimes. Thank you for that. No, but I mean, I love how weird that song is. I love how
freaky it is.
And actually it's interesting because the word that I was about to use was brave, and I'm not sure exactly why, but like in the sense that song, it's doing a lot. It's a lot of heavy lifting in there, and there's a lot of balance that needs to go into making a song that changes itself that much, but it stays focused and it still makes sense with the lyrics and musically, and it's internally consistent. And like, how long did that one take to put together? First of all, you're going to tell me it was like 4 minutes, right? But like, was that a big chunk? That one, was that a big one to chew, or?
Not, I mean, it started off, like I said, I was trying to write 9/8.
Right.
Which was that middle part. That's the spooky part.
Right.
Which it isn't in 9/8 because I gave that up but I came up with this thing that to count it, it's like, I forget how you have to count it. It's weird. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a weird kind of rhythm.
Yeah.
And I came up with that, and then I kind of, I've got, that's kind of cool-ish, and I kind of like left it, and then I went into that typical, like kind of the Alice in Chains 3/4, the black, the intro part, just that, and then I thought it'd be kind of cool to go into a 4/4, more metal-ish type of chorus, and then back into the 3/4, and that all kind of put itself together pretty quick. And then we gave it to Joe. He kind of came up with some lyrics. I remember it took a couple of weeks and we flushed it out. But I remember Joe coming back and saying, because the one part was just, he's like, I just don't like it. The weird middle creepy part that I started the whole song with. And I was just like, man, it's like, because he chops them up and he says, what do you think?
I will absolutely chop his shit up. I'm like, I don't like that. No. Here, check this out.
And I listened to it. I'm like, I just really when I was hearing it, I was hearing kind of those epic Metallica songs. Yeah. That they kind of slow down in the middle, those old Metallica, and they kind of do those weird kind of, and then they kind of pull back.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it needed that. And Joe's more of a, let's keep it tight, straight ahead. Okay. And I was just, let's just let it see what happens.
I feel like you won, Chuck, because
he was right. He was right.
Well, I mean, it did sound bad. It did. And again, this comes down to production stuff. And it wasn't until I started adding all the weird zombie walks and me getting back behind it that kind of filled in those weird spaces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when I added all that junk, just atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it kind of like, okay, now it feels right. And I felt like it needed it because it was leading into approach.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really wanted to use the Juno 106 wind sound from Holy Diver.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is really the whole goal of it. There you go. That's it. That's what it all boiled down to.
So, but that was, but yeah, that one took a little bit to kind of, because we back and forth.
And it was okay. We do that though. I mean, I think every musician does that. That writes. I mean, we'll go back and forth on things, and eventually, I mean, it's all text, and then then it's more of like, okay, I'm calling the guy.
Right.
I mean,
and then it is because we go out to the car and listen to it, because that's how it's like. I'll try to mix something. I mean, you're looking at my studio,
right?
I don't have a studio.
Right.
It's this is not professional.
Right. No, but the car test is always the best one anyway.
And I was doing that when I was working in the big studios.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever we used to record anything, it was the same thing. Like, okay, it sounds good now. Let's get in the car and see what it really sounds like. Yeah.
And I was even like, burn me a cassette and let me listen to it in my old cassette.
Yeah.
I hear it compressed.
Right.
And see what it sounds like.
Right.
But and I'll make notes and then come back in and try to, and then my ears are shot and my ears are shot anyway because I stick my head in Marshalls for too long and I get tinnitus so bad. So, but I think that's one really cool thing about us is we don't have any egos. We don't care.
Yeah. No, you can tell.
That sucked. Okay. What do you think about?
I mean, he'll flat out tell me that was not good.
Yeah. I mean,
take a day off and go do it again.
Yeah.
Or I kind of like this. Well, let me listen to it again. Let me hear what you're hearing.
I'm not hearing what you're explaining. I mean, kind of like Eater of the Dead. I mean, I was not hearing what he was hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we got it.
You can.
Who's that?
That's Nico.
Nico.
Just kind of sneak through. Hi. No, I mean, but that's perfect though, because I think when you have a working relationship like that, where you can be honest with each other and you don't have ego and you're not going to take it personally, you can take more risks and trust each other that neither one of you is going to go, yeah, that sounds great, because you're afraid, you have to be polite or whatever, and then the song just suffers for it. So, I mean, I appreciate that. And I wonder too if the fact that you guys do have that distance helps with that too, because it's time and it
would be so much better if we were together. I mean, we've known each other for so long. I mean, we're brothers. I mean, it's like,
I don't think that would matter because I just don't care about I'm just so over the whole
thing.
I think it's why we work together really well, though. I mean, it's like we're just like, let's just make something fun. Let's have fun. That's our number one rule.
It's like I like to create.
Have fun. It's our number one rule.
Fun.
And then make it sound as good as we can, and that we're happy with it.
Right.
If people like it, they like it. If they don't, then they don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Big deal. No, but there's freedom in that though, right? Because it's what's the point of making music just for other people? It's too difficult, and it's too difficult, especially when you guys have the aesthetic that you do. That you want to make music that's fun. You want to make stuff that's in a particular set of lanes, at least, and that evokes particular kinds of music genres, whatever. Like that's. And I think that where you guys tend to land musically, and again, not to make it sound like everything you do sounds the same, but you do have a distinctive sound. You do have a distinctive feel to your stuff. And I think that it is a sound that is easier for people universally to enjoy. And I think a lot of that is also because it is so fun, that you guys are you're having a really good time.
It's fun. I gotta be honest. It's like the fact that you're even talking about this is a little baffling.
You don't know Christina.
Well, no, I mean, it's humbling. It's awesome.
There
it's
you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm baffling. I've been called worse, Chuck.
Well,
that's okay.
well, you've got a great name. I mean, it's my wife's name. So,
well, there you go.
But I know when we started this, like, kind of Joe started, like, I was just honestly was like, I was putting some stuff on SoundCloud because I hated going back because I like listening to the music,
right?
And I hated just going and having to not be able to just listen to the next track. Have to go back and on Dropbox. We've had these songs for a long time, so I started putting some stuff on SoundCloud just so I could hear a track listing.
Right.
And when the magic thing happened, I was that's when we kind of like, man, can we like put this up on like something? And it was more for just so we can have it so I can on Apple.
Yeah. That was our big thing. We just wanted to be on the streaming service.
I mean, I didn't expect
that is really the
5 people to listen to this.
We didn't care
at all.
But that's a great way to come into it, though, because you didn't have any expectations, right? You really, truly were just doing it for yourselves.
Well, and still don't have any expectations. just we're just having fun. But Joe's all of a sudden found this whole new community of like all these musicians and stuff, and it's like really cool.
Yeah, and you guys have been adopted. And that's it. Now you have no choice.
I wish I had some more time to. I've got 2 teenagers and a 8th or 6th grader.
Yeah.
No, you don't have any time for anything. So.
The funny thing about that is, like, when we released the EP, when we finally was like, okay, let's put it on DistroKid and do all that, that stuff. I was like, oh shit, we should probably promote it. We didn't even think of that. I mean, that was not even in our plans. So I created Facebook. I think I already had that done. But I wanted to like join the groups for the Magic the Gathering kind of groups.
Yeah, sure.
That was my initial plan.
Okay.
It was like, I just want to get that out there because I thought the people would absolutely love it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went the correct way. I didn't want to be banned, for our account. I went to the admins of those groups. I was like, here's my deal. This is what we're doing. It's even on our website telling us about the whole Magic card thing.
Right.
Denied, man, on all of them. They did not want to have anything to do with it. They don't do promotion crap on. So I was really bummed out about that. I remember telling Chuck, I was like,
well, yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, I baked this cake for you. And they're like, fuck you and your cake. We don't want it. Yeah. I mean, like that's exactly the demo you would think logically to go. And I bet actually the people in the group would have loved it, but I'm sure admins are like, well,
I think people can share it out within the groups and all that.
Okay, you just can't promote it.
I can't promote it.
Right.
Okay.
And that's when I went the other route.
Fast forward to Christina joining a bunch of Magic the Gathering groups and sharing this fucking thing. Because you know me, Joe, I'll end up doing that. I know you. Like, oh God, okay.
That is where I discovered everything else. I mean, I went, I was like, well, people were telling me about these other groups, Band Together, of course. But that's kind of how this all became,
Yeah.
And I was telling Chuck one day, he goes, he goes, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And I was like, well, we got to do this. We got to do this. And he goes, just have fun, man.
Yeah.
Chill. Have fun with it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, but it's both, though. I mean, you can chill and have fun and have a little ambition and self-promotion. Yeah. And I mean, that's, the community's down for it. So why the hell not, right?
Right.
But okay, so I mean, so we talked a little bit about Hurl Through Hell. Okay. And again, I got some Metallica vibes from that one. I'm going to go right ahead and say it. I don't, every time I say something, Chuck looks at me like, what? But then that's what I heard. I heard Metallica. I heard Enter Sandman and Pour Some Sugar on Me, Have a Baby, and then turn it into something completely different, which I love. And that breakdown that you have that gets dark, and that really shreddy guitar and everything. I love that.
That was 38 Special.
I love when
38 Special.
When guitar, when guitar and vocals work in, not that one, but work in tandem like that, where you have everything going up and down together. I love that. That's like that to me. The tempo of that is a little bit more metal. maybe than some of the other ones, right? And then you do this really cool thing. Okay, so guys, I don't know, it's probably about 2/3 of the way through the song. Song is slowed down a good bit. Okay. And all of a sudden you guys start with these O's. Oh. And as you go, the tempo very subtly just comes up and then up and then up and then up and then boom, you're right back into it. And you got this big solo going over it. And I love that. I love that when I'm listening to the music, if you chose to stay in one spot of the song and just do that for the whole song, I would still have enjoyed it. But I love that by the second or third one because I had heard Gold, obviously, but like, I was like, okay, this is not going to stay this way. This tempo is not going to hold, the rhythm's not going to hold, time signature's not going to hold. And I was waiting to hear where the song would go, And then in a song like Insidious Dreams, where it doesn't change as much, I was just as satisfied, So it's not like there's a gimmick there of like, okay, they're going to start in one place and then go to another. Yeah. And I'm waiting to, it's like the M. Night Shyamalan of music kind of thing, as I say, it's not like that. But I really find the choices that you guys make in terms of feel. I'm not going to say genre because I think that's a little too heavy-handed for what's going on in each song, but like the feel of each song and then the feels of each song and then the tempo changes and the rhythm changes and all of that. And I think they're really interesting, and I mean that in a good way, not a euphemistic way, kind of choices, because it keeps me listening, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Chuck and I can see completely that Chuck is like, what is this chick? Like, these songs are just fun. And what is she doing? And we're like, what? But Joe, you know how I am, right? Like I go deep. I can't help it. So like
she does her homework, Chuck. The thing.
Who would have known?
But no,
I tell you, I did not want to say anything. I was just waiting.
Just for me to weird Chuck out. But no, but like I think it just reminds me of like, those memes where like a couple is lying in bed and like, the husband has his back turned or whatever. And the wife is like, I wonder if he's, thinking he doesn't love me anymore, or, maybe he's disappointed or whatever. And then like and the guy's like, the Knicks lost, and it's like, that's what I feel like Chuck and I are doing here. Cause I'm like, tell me about the deep, meaningful, whatever. And he's like, I picked up a card and I liked it. And then I wrote a little song about it. but I think what's happening here is that what you're intending and how you're proceeding don't necessarily equate to what you end up with at the end of it, right? So I'm on the other end of this listening and I'm hearing all this stuff. I'm not looking for it. So you've done it. You just might not have intended to do it.
We were in bands for years.
Uh-huh.
We listened to music for years. So I would give anything to have a band. Like like on those songs, I had like one of the guys I play Magic with is a bass player.
Okay.
And he's kind of a Steve Harrisy type bass player. I was like, Victor, please, you've got to play bass on these because I just can't do them justice.
Thank you.
Buddy. And I'm like, thank God Victor played bass on those.
So
yeah. I mean, seriously. And it was just like night and day. I'm like, it's like, there they are. And it's funny. I'm trying to, he lives down the street. I play disc golf with a guy he was a drummer in a pretty big band, and he gives drum lessons. And I'm trying to take drum lessons from him just so I can learn something about drums.
Okay.
Because when I'm programming this stuff, it's like I'm not a drummer. I think I've got good rhythm. I was always more of a rhythm player than a lead player. And like the tempo things, I just felt like it needed. I'm always trying. I hate drum machines. That's one thing. And I'm always trying to change the drums a little bit, like, because you've got this MIDI in there, and I'm always going in there and like, well, let's push that one a little bit. Like maybe the drummer hit that a little early.
Right.
On every
trying to add the
a human element to it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Trick Shot used that. It's the human element. That's it. Because you'd almost rather have something be imperfect,
right,
and have it be more visceral and real than have it be absolutely perfect and soulless. So I hear you.
Right. And as I learn Logic more and more, it's like I'll go in and like sometimes in the choruses I'll bump the tempo up from 125 to 126.
Okay.
It's like you don't notice it, but or you push it just a little bit, or then you pull it just a little bit. And I can feel that.
Well, you're trying to emulate a live
being in a band
experience. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, because I miss being in a band. I miss playing with a live person, and just that, feeling a drummer. There's something about playing with a drummer and just walking in, and just that, and especially when you play with somebody for a long time, you know what they're going to do.
Yep.
It's like, as much as Sean and I will, it's like I can feel him.
Yeah.
This is the drummer from White Lies and National.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was trying to program drums like he would play.
Yeah.
It's like just to get that feeling,
Yep. No, everybody who's a musician who's listening to you right now knows exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you mean. And again, being in a band that's 100% online, I understand where you're coming from, because there is that alchemy, where you're looking at people on stage and you're feeling the kick under your feet, and you're in that space together. And it's not that it can't be great when it isn't that, but there isn't anything like that either.
Right.
And so I do understand what you mean. I do. And I actually, I love that you're trying to affect that.
And I think that's definitely the weakest part of all of this, is the drums. I mean, I feel like I spent a lot of time on the Magic stuff, like more than it just kind of happened though. It's like, for some reason it just worked with that. And the other songs, it's like I'll go back and go back and go back and go back. Like we're working on one right now for this new thing that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if Joe's noticed it. Song called what's it called?
I noticed everything.
The freaky one. Freak Show. I changed the drums to where it pushes more in the song, but then we finish with the chorus. But I finished with the chorus pushing like it used to, and it changes the whole feel of it.
Yeah, you changed it up. I heard that.
So it's like, now I feel like the song flows better.
Okay.
Just because it's moving now, and then after we kind of got this break, and then it kind of slows you back down and kind of gets into this more of a kind of a subtle groove kind of a thing, and so I'm still kind of working through that, and that's usually my last thing I do is I kind of, after we get the song done, then I'm going to go back and then I really start focusing on
and
usually just, I've got to be in the right headspace to do that, and I'm not a drummer, and that's what I wish I would, and I've got to go get Steve to give me some drum lessons.
But you hear what you keep using that phrase, like the song needed to do this, or I felt like it needed this here or needed that there. And I think it's the same way you talk about playing guitar, right? It's that you're not much of a guitarist or you're not a drummer, but I think that you have instincts of a guitarist. You have instincts of a drummer.
I'm not a drummer. I am a guitar player.
Yeah, you are. No, but I'm saying, but more specifically than that, though, this delineation that you make between people who are more intentional or, educated or trained in these things versus what your ear is just telling you to do. But what I'm saying is, I'm not sure how different the outcome would be in every case. You know what I mean?
Thankfully, we live in a world now where we have this software,
right?
Yeah.
That it's honestly I use TuneTrack, We're not sponsoring it. I don't even know anything.
No.
It's like, yeah, come on, play. But
the hope would be that they would sponsor
Reaper.
you. But yeah, okay.
It's not that.
Reaper.
But what you've got is you've got all these real drummers playing grooves, and you can buy these packs. That if anybody's watching this, I mean, that is trying to, because that's, as a guitar player wanting to just make music, that was my one thing I struggled with, was getting drums.
Yeah.
And trying to do this drum thing. And what I found was they seemed to find the easiest way to do it was, I was just, because you can come up with the drum part, and and the thing is that these packs aren't that expensive just to buy the drum loops.
Right.
And I can throw in, so, okay, this is kind of what I'm hearing, and throw it up there. And then it'll give me like, okay, it's a 67% that this one matches, a 78% that this one matches. And you play it, and it's a real drummer playing.
Right.
And you've got ghost notes, and you've got, and it feels like, and then you can take that MIDI thing of a real drummer playing, and then it's like, well, let's say I want to, I can just drag. So now so you can really make
kind of Frankensteining it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's got the feel of a real drummer because a real drummer did play it.
Right.
And I think that's just brilliant. I mean, what I always say this to Joe is like, if we had this technology when we were 18, my God, because we spent $15,000 in the studio and came up with crap. It's just, we really, it was an experience, but it was, sound quality was, what we got from it was just ridiculous. And it's like, it's like the world of music right now is so open and brilliant just because of all the things we can do and all the creativity that, it's like a photographer.
I'm just so glad we have that now, though, because I don't know where I'd be without being able to create. I can come down here every day and just create something.
Right. It's so cool. But to be a kid and be able to do that.
Oh, I mean, way back.
I mean, it's just, I'm envious. It's like all the photographers with digital cameras. It's like, I mean, God, give me that when I was, 30 years ago. The stuff I would be coming up with, it's so cool. And, we need to explore that. I hope, kind of like what you guys were talking about the other night, there's so many little avenues of stuff to just pluck from.
That's right.
I remember going in school and reading books like that, but I went to school before Napster happened. So, and it was like, we were still in this old mode of the recording industry, and just, you really relied on those A&R people.
Yeah, it was only accessible when they wanted it to be, and
right, and but it's now we have this, and you can kind of really go discover your stuff. I mean, the delusion is though that you're accessible to everything. My kids have a genre, but I don't see it's like there's not that brother. I don't know. I don't see like the metal kids. There's the new wave kids. There's the
that's really,
it's just everybody listens to everything anymore.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Things were a lot more,
like I said, I didn't like
segmented.
To admit that I listened to Duran Duran.
That I was talking about the disco earlier. I did not tell people I love the disco, but man, I had that disco album.
Right.
I mean, because I just loved it. I there was something about it that I just loved. I mean, that's where every music.
I was made for loving you.
But I mean, like, and the thing is, if you listen to Dave Grohl talk about, Nirvana.
If you listen to Nevermind, the Nirvana record, I pulled so much stuff from the Gap Band and Cameo and Tony Thompson on every one of those songs. All that. That's old disco. That's all it is. Can I not hear that? Nobody makes the connection.
And like, so there is absolutely, people will shit on particular genres or whatever, but there are things that get wildly popular, usually get wildly popular for a reason. They might not be completely great, but there's something in there. There's something to it. And again, this idea of what we're talking about, that, now you can take things, you can pull from things, you can Frankenstein things and create stuff that you couldn't because the technology is there. And I think, now what we're hearing is there's so much genre crossing that we're getting completely different kinds of music coming out now, different genres altogether, because why the fuck not? Why not put two things together that you didn't think worked together? But I mean, so just to kind of, because I think the only one on the EP that we haven't really talked about yet is Bonfire of the Damned. Now, we did play it on the live number 4, and of course, we always have to shout out our girl, Kimmy, Mama's Maiden.
Thank you, Kimmy.
Thank you, Kimmy, who did the fantastic video for that. But so, I mean, that one, I'm like, it's almost like a punk rock metal feel for that one for me. I almost get a little like a more gourmet rebel yell kind of thing going on there. Like it's got that very driving. And I think, for the lyrics to that one, this whole idea of mass hysteria and just everything's going to burn or whatever, it's got that urgent feel to it for me. And again, not a song that changes a whole lot from beginning to end. That one's a steadier one, but like that one, just again, cool card. Is there any story behind that one? Just a cool card.
No, that was one that was just I thought we needed a 5th song. It was. It's like I felt we needed a 5th EP song for a.
If you wanted a definition for the word humble, people, it's going to have Chuck's picture next to it in the dictionary. Like,
and then that song,
you need something to close it all out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you heard, all the 4 songs.
You didn't have a closer before that. You're right.
I mean, with all the fire, the whole bonfire of the damn thing. I mean, just like really, really tied it up to me.
Yeah,
and it's a straightforward, just rock song. I mean,
it was, and I that one did take maybe, I don't know, probably about a half hour, an hour to come up with. I mean, to be honest, it was just
yeah.
And I'm like, that's a cool riff. And that one I just gave straight to Joe and just like, hey, we need this. Here's the song title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I came up with any lyrics for that one.
No, it was just the track.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all. So I was just. We just needed something. It was like, and just coming into that, no intro. It was like start singing immediately. I like that. It's that's the Bon Jovi.
Shot through the heart. Yeah, totally.
The big vocal. Bon Jovi
like,
thing.
Bam! Let's just hit it, get it, go
in, out, done. Yeah.
Right, and it's funny. It's like I didn't really like that song at first, and it just kind of grew on me.
Okay.
It was one of those. I thought it was kind of a throwaway, and it actually took a little bit longer than we tweaked that one a while because it wasn't flowing.
No. I mean, the chorus wasn't right. I mean, there's a lot of points. I mean, that wasn't right in that song, but I think we nailed it at the end. I mean, it's like straightforward, just like I mean, it's almost punishing. It's like.
Yeah, no, it's relentless, but in a good way, because you're in it. You have us, you've grabbed us, you're throwing us around for a couple minutes, and then you're done. And it ends the whole thing on a burn, and you're out. And it's you're exactly right though, because if you asked me if it could have been any other song that ended that EP, it couldn't have been. I mean, then I guess we have the 2 singles. That Nightmare obviously we played too, but so talk to me a little bit, Joe, about Rise of the Outlaws, because as I said, that one's a little outliery.
That is a full-on throwback song.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, so me and Chuck wrote that a couple years, maybe 3 years ago, and I think we were really testing out the whole streaming service thing.
Okay.
I was like, what song should we just throw out there just to see how it all works, And this is after we came up with the Freaky Things name and all that. So we threw that out there because we actually like that song a lot. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun throwback song, and that's we call it vintage melodic rock. I mean, where we're at. So it's a great song.
I agree.
There you are.
Oh, he's back. You're back. No,
Like,
I mean, I have to ask you about the intro to that song.
Oh
Because
yeah.
you've got that quirky, is that a really weirdly tuned Scott Joplin? Is that, or is it just reminiscent of that? Because it's got some entertainer.
Outlaw. Yeah, Rise of the Outlaws.
that is it's another tune track. It's called Easy Keys.
Okay.
And it's I forget what it is. It's an old upright piano, like
a player piano almost kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of got, that kind of old time piano.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the Entertainer to me, but like if you
kind of like I went and found some old player piano like stuff from that era.
Yeah.
And just like that was like what do you want to call it? What am I trying to think of? What's the open copyright? What is that called? Like in the
I don't know, but
it's past the
open copyright.
No, it's when something's in the open.
Oh yeah, like the free. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Of course, I'm not going to be able to think of it, but it's
it's I just can't. I'm having a mind blank.
It's okay, but when it's
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's when there's no more copyright anymore. It's
right. It's open source like type.
Yeah,
like you can use it. Like I could go publish The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Because it's not copyrighted anymore.
Right.
The book.
So you found something like that.
I found something like that, the MIDI of it. And then I transposed it to the key that our song was in.
Right, okay.
And I just thought it was a cool, because it's all about, what was I? It was another, I was, why did I write this song? This was originally supposed to be a White Lies song.
Okay.
This was originally supposed to be a White Lies song, and I was specifically writing it so our other guitar player could have a lead part, because I thought he would play a really good lead part on it.
Okay.
And I specifically was trying to write something very Dokken-esque, very George Lynchy.
Okay.
Like old, like from Under Lock and Key.
Yeah, I did tell her it was old school. I mean, it had an old school.
Yeah, well, that's what it came from. It was straight up, let's make this as Dokken-ish like as possible. Mm-hmm. That just those kind of, and why we used to use those kind of weird Dokken kind of chords a lot.
Yeah.
And basically that's what it was. And then you came up with the lyrics, and it was just like, that's kind of cool. It's the Bon Jovi, we're outlaws. It's like
there was a little. Rock. It was a little. It doesn't sound like Wanted Dead or Alive, but it kind of had that thematic kind of. But I heard some Audio Slave in that. I heard a little. I did. Wow. I heard a little bit. Of Like a Stone in there for me. There's a particular refrain around the chorus that I kept going, God, what is that? And then I'm like, it's audio, because I knew I was hearing Cornell, and then I'm like, what is it though?
There is a weird kind of off chord I play, and it's I kind of like let something ring, and it does kind of give this kind of I'm going to say the wrong thing, but it kind of feels like it's diminished-ish kind of weird vibe.
Yeah. No, and it works because
kind of weird ringy thing.
It makes the whole thing have that kind of Western kind of, like draw your guns. It works, and I also appreciate. What is the dialogue at the end though? Because you hear the boots walking. Is that from a movie or like?
Well, it's sound effects, but it's from Tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah, and I cut it up enough to where it's like, and I kind of took bits and pieces, but it's all from Tombstone.
And we got away with it. Nobody's banned it yet, so whatever.
Well,
these are not the droids you're looking for, makers of Tombstone. So nobody needs to know anything about that. But
again, I think
you mean the pizza. You're talking about the pizza,
right? Tombstone pizza.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with Val Kilmer.
Pizza blimp. That's right. No, but no. Okay, and then then that would bring us up to Gold, which again, that song's only been out 6 weeks or so, and a couple months. But that one is, I feel like things jumped up from that one to me. Like it's like almost like you guys started not another level, because that implies that everything that came before it was not there, but there's a polish to that one. There's you know, that one's very radio friendly to me.
I think that's the oldest one that we
Is it really? Really? So when was that one written?
Hold on.
It's pretty old, but it's like
exactly.
That was really old.
We struggle with that one.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Okay, talk to me about what was the struggle?
I want to see if I can find when that was written.
Yeah, it was the struggle with the choruses.
1964.
The choruses were not right. Well, no, how I was singing it was not right. The verses.
Okay.
I had some crazy. I mean, Chuck sent me like kind of what he thought it should be.
Well, originally, I don't even think you were going to sing. That wasn't even a song I was even thinking about you even doing.
Oh, who in the hell were you going to have do it?
It was just kind of one of my things. Remember?
Fuck off, Chuck.
Well, no, but it's like.
Oh my God.
You're fired.
You two. Oh my God. When you said you're brothers, you're not kidding. Holy shit.
You're fired or I'm fired. One of the two.
That's hilarious.
You're both fired and you can both rehire each other. That's right.
Freaky.com, things.com.
Oh no. I'm sure things.com is actually freaky.com is probably we're not announcing the band breakup on this show. No. That would make me and everyone else sad, but
that would be hilarious.
So it's an old song though. We know this.
Yeah, it's fairly old.
Okay.
No, it was one that was written a while back, but we kind of put it on the back burner. Didn't touch it for a long time.
Okay.
Until recently, I think, and then I was like, God, that song is so good. I feel it's just a really, really good song.
Yeah.
And then, Chuck revisited and I revisited and we kind of worked out things.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one I think we discussed at the pool party. It's like, because we were part of the whole idea behind this project. I'm not even calling this a band because
it's our project. Yeah.
Was it's all about, because we've got other, if I could get you to sing the Invisible, that would be kind of cool.
Okay, we'll work on that.
All right. That's like
we're having an impromptu band meeting, folks. But yeah, okay.
Right. So, but no,
what do you guys think I should do, chat? Should I work with Chuck a little bit more? Should I do Invisible?
Don't leave it to the chat. Yes, you should.
Telling you, Invisible's got kind of a 21 Pilots kind of feel
weird,
to it.
Okay,
it's all about being it's kind of about me and then relating to my son, being kind of the kid that's a little shy at school, and kind of
it's a really good song. I just totally forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's definitely got it's very, very 21 Pilots.
Okay.
That's
then yes, you should do it, Joe. There you go.
Okay, thanks.
I have solved this problem.
I always follow the rules. You know this. I always follow directions.
That's right. Otherwise, Mom puts you in the corner. That's right. But okay, so I'm surprised that's an older one. Okay.
Yeah, Gold's one of the older ones.
How much did you rework it though because it sounds like you felt like a decent amount, at least in the chorus needed to change? No,
I think it was more the verses. The verses needed to change.
Oh, I thought you said you said it was the way you were singing it. Okay, yeah. I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
I was adding a lot of stuff to it that didn't need to be there.
He wasn't singing it like I wanted him to sing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't happy with it.
He needed to sing it like I originally sang it.
Yeah. And I didn't like how he originally sang it.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
And then that fight ensued. He won again.
Yeah. Hey,
I win a lot of wars, man. I'm just
we still got Story of Our Lives and Wake and
all other things to fight about that you could win.
Songs. I mean, we've got. I mean, I want to start. I want to start working this winter on the new Magic Songs Volume 2.
Oh God. Okay.
5 songs. I mean, we're gonna have to pick them.
We're gonna have to do blue and green colors now for all those players.
Whatever we gotta do, I'll do it.
Okay, but so then that leads me to one of my last questions for this before we wrap up. So you have this new thing coming out. When do you think the new thing, as you keep calling it, will be out with this next set of songs? Not the Magic Volume 2, but the next thing. What's the guess?
It's supposed to be out in 4 days.
It was
4 days.
Well,
supposed to be.
Well, we're supposed to release it on Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an EP.
Yeah, 4 songs. Well, what Joe's like, let's do Nightmare for Halloween. okay. So that'd be cool. We haven't done anything. Gold's been out a while. Let's do Nightmare.
Yeah.
Some for Halloween. Okay, cool. So I started listening to it, and I go, Joe, this is too short. And it's really not that short, but it just feels short. Because it just kind of
it's just a normal song. It's like
right, it's a song. Exactly. They all heard it. Yeah.
Well, Joe likes stuff to fade, and I like stuff that hits.
Okay.
Ends. He likes stuff that fades out, and I like stuff that just ends. Because you can't fade stuff out live.
Right.
So look at the roll in his eyes.
Just the guy at the PA just slowly.
Yeah. Exactly. But so I'm listening to it in the car, and I'm going, I want something else.
You're waiting for something else.
We've got a whole bunch of songs that kind of have a Halloweenish. We've got this like Psycho Beast in Love, and then there's Bloodsucker, and then there's Freak Show.
Yeah, all right. From the titles alone, I'm sensing a bit of a theme. Yeah, okay.
Then we've got Rise that could have been cool because it's all about zombies and but that's too thrash metal. That's straight up thrash metal.
Okay.
Like full on thrash metal.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so then this
we're trying to get it released, but I've had the COVID.
Right.
And then
trying to get over that crap, and I got to fix a bunch of stuff. So,
and my wife's in Germany, and I've had kids, and it's just so we're trying to get and mix it.
Okay.
I tried.
So it will be coming.
It'll be quick.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll get it out.
So maybe even by the time this is aired.
Maybe.
Oh,
we'll see.
I'd say for sure.
Okay, look at that.
I say maybe.
Somewhere between maybe and for sure.
No, this is within. It's going to be done quick.
I'm the final button pusher.
Okay.
That is true. He is the final button pusher.
So he could just delay it just to win this one argument. You don't know. You really don't know. But okay, speaking of arguments, okay.
Oh boy.
We have a little bit of business to do before I can let you gentlemen go. And I think we all know what's coming, especially you, Freaky. But we do like to end every episode with a little segment we like to call In the Vox Seat. My seat. You got my knee, and now it's time for my seat. So Chuck, for your edification, I have asked every musician that I've interviewed on this show the same 5 questions. So you're each going to answer them.
Good thing I'm a photographer and not a musician.
Fantastic. That's a good way to go into this. But all right, here we go. First question. If you had to describe Freaky Things' music in 5 words or less, what would each of you say?
Freaky. Right?
But,
you use that, right? Freaky.
One.
Okay, freaky. That's one.
Fun.
Don't say things. Okay.
Things.
No.
Vintage.
Okay, freaky, fun, vintage. Okay.
I should know this by now because I'm on this all the time.
No, I like that you didn't plan it ahead, though. I'm always grateful when people do it extemporaneously because I think it's more fun that way. Not everybody has. I could think of at least 2 people who I know practice
That's
ahead.
4.
What is it?
That's 4, Joe. Are you done?
Yeah.
3. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You're going to let him just get by with 4?
Yeah.
I said 5 words or less.
Or less. Okay.
Or less.
Experimental, selfish, meditative. Let's see.
I did not expect that.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So, well, all right. Give me. Do you have 2 more?
Energetic.
Okay. It could be or less.
Coffee.
Good. Glad we held out for that last word. But okay, so explain to Joe and to me and to the folks at home, selfish. Do you mean because you guys are doing it for yourselves, or?
Yeah. I mean, for me anyway.
Okay.
I'm doing this for me.
I love how Chuck's like, I'm not even doing it for Joe. I'm just doing it for me.
He's actually doing it for me.
I'm doing it for Joe. Because he wants to do it with, I mean, I'm glad he's able to do it because I was like, man, I'm so glad he's able to do this because I don't like the way my voice sounds.
There you go. Okay. Okay. All
And
right.
it's fun to have someone to collaborate with. And if you're a musician, it's really hard to do anything on your own.
Yeah.
You need that at least somebody to.
We do have some tremendous solo artists who do everything by themselves, but I do think that generally the consensus is that it is easier to have at least one other person you can bounce things off of. So yeah, I hear you. Okay. All right. See, look at that. We had 9 words. Joe, if at some point you want to use that other one, you'll call me and let me know. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Things.
Okay. So things. Okay. So now each of you, your favorite thing about being a musician.
I think it's therapeutic.
Okay.
It's a big thing for me. Makes me feel young. I mean, really, I feel young. I mean, like when I'm like creating and we release something, the vibe I get out of that just it is amazing.
Okay. I like that.
That's good, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. What do you got?
He was just shaking his head at me. I don't know what that meant.
I like it. I like that. That's good. The best thing about being a musician, I mean, I don't know. How about the best thing about being a music lover?
Okay, sure. Why not?
You're going to change the whole interview.
I know. I'm not a musician. I can't.
Oh my God. Okay. How about this? The best thing about making music.
It's because it's just fun. It gives me a chance. I sit down at my computer and I just create. And the next thing you do, it's 5 hours later and you've done something. It's like, look, this is kind of cool. We've created something.
Okay.
And now I can go make some photography around that.
Okay. I love that I have people on this show who bare their souls, who tell me everything that's ever happened to them. They unpack their trauma with me. We cry, whatever. And then it's blood from a stone here with Chuck. Chuck is just like, it's fun. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not actually a musician. I don't know why I'm here.
You can make it go down and up, and it goes to
11.
You can tell this was done in the 80s, right?
Oh my God.
How graphic, how dirty can you
get? Shane from Asphalt Jungle is going to love that guitar.
Can we get dirty? Because when you pick it, it looks like you're picking a part of a body part. Isn't that bad?
Yeah.
80s.
Oh my goodness. There are going to be people pausing the episode there for a couple minutes and then moving on. But all right. So, okay. So then flip side for each of you, your least favorite thing about being a musician / making music, just for Chuck.
Carrying equipment.
Okay.
We don't carry equipment.
I was going to say, I didn't think you did that.
I don't remember doing it, but I heard that's what happens.
Okay. How about, I don't know, something that applies directly to you?
Wait.
Let me get rid of that.
Hey, guys, I got my mic.
Right.
Oh, God, this is heavy. Hold on.
Hey, some of us singers actually helped carry everything else into.
Let me get the six pack.
That is a myth. Singers always carry equipment.
That's right. Okay, but Joe, no, really, your least favorite thing. There has to be something.
My big thing is when I can't get it. When I know I'm in that zone and I'm like down here recording or whatever, and I just can't get it. And it bums me out, man. I mean, Chuck knows this. I mean, I'm just so close.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I can't hit it.
That takes me back to Ambrose from Anger Overdose. You know, that getting the thing that's in his head out into the world the way he wants it to sound. Out. Yeah. Okay. That and carrying equipment in theory, which we don't even know. All right, Chuck, for you, the least favorite thing about making music, not as a musician. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
I know. Maybe getting a bad tip when you're getting paid for the pizza.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not even going to fight it anymore. I'm just okay. Absolutely fantastic.
Everybody, welcome to my world. Chuck.
It is
how do you get rid of the guitar player? Pay for the pizza.
You are the grounding force of this project, Joe, and that terrifies me terrifies me. How do you get rid of guitar player? Play for the pizza. That's what we. Okay. I'm not getting anything better than that. I'm going to move on. All right. I'm curious about this one because I'm not sure what we're going to get for it. But if each of you had, what happened?
I'll be serious for one.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Look at that. Look how serious he is. Oh my God.
Killing me, bro.
Jesus. Just turned into a God I Am cover. So, okay. No. So do you have an answer for that or no?
Oh,
yes. Remember the question I had the least favorite thing.
Okay. What you said, that's the truth. But if you've got an idea in your head and you can't get it, especially when that's why I'm taking lessons.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I could make this so much better and I don't know how to. That drives me absolutely insane. And I'm like, I know, like, on the quick story about gold, I sent that to my guitar teacher and said, there's a part in here that's bugging me. Do you hear anything? And he came up with 4 notes. Just a ding, ding, ding. And it's like, it changed everything and made the thing creepy. And I was like, I would have never thought of those 4 notes. And he's like, this is why it works.
Yeah.
And he told me the theory behind it.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's the stuff that, and it's so simple, but why did I ever hear it?
Right.
I never would have thought to have heard it, I guess. And it's like, all of a sudden he turned it into something instead of following along, it's like, just play this one note that's out of the
right.
And then come through. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. Yeah. And that's why I don't consider him, because he's a musician.
Okay. No, I like that. I know. I hear what you're saying. I hear you have a specific way that you think about this, and I respect that. Even if it might not be the same way that I do, I respect that. So, but the good thing is that you are accessing information that will give you some of that, so that you can do more of it on your own without needing someone else to kind of point you in the direction. No, it sounds like it, but okay. So this one, as I said, I really don't know where you're going to go with this because I've heard so many influences so far, but if you had to pick just one album to listen to for the rest of your life, just one, I know, sorry, Chuck, what album would it be and why? Such sadness on the faces right now.
Is it possible?
Is it impossible?
Can I have a double album?
That's a really difficult question.
If it's, I know. That's why I ask it. But if it's a double album and it's by a band, then yes, you can do that.
I would probably, I'd probably go Dio. One of the albums, probably Holy Diver.
Okay.
Yeah, Holy Diver.
Okay.
I could go Last in Line too. I mean, can I sneak like 2 albums on the island?
You know what? If you happen to file something betwixt your cheeks, I'm not checking. So I guess maybe you could get away with it. But okay, but so why that? I mean, I know that Dio was a huge influence, but anything specifically about it?
Probably the best singer in metal. I mean, my opinion. But the lyrical content, the whole magic, I'm just so into that, which is kind of funny. Chuck didn't think that I would.
Because I'm really into it. I played D&D.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it was just amazing. I mean, that run. I mean, I loved him in Black Sabbath too. When he replaced Ozzy, I was totally into that. Heaven and Hell is one of my favorite albums ever. Shout out Superposition, Children of the Sea.
Yay, John. Okay, so we got a Dio. Okay. All right, Chuck.
Okay, ask the question again.
Okay.
Because it's important how you ask this question.
Okay. 2 trains leave Chicago.
No.
Okay. If you had to choose just one album to listen to for the rest of your life, what album would it be and why?
Okay. Straight No Chaser by Thelonious Monk.
Okay, did not see that coming. Tell me why.
because I love jazz and because I don't understand jazz and I don't think I would get sick of it.
Okay.
I could name any album that I love, like Dio.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the only album I could ever listen to, I would get sick of it.
Okay.
And I know this because I accidentally brought one cassette with me on vacation once for a week, and I'll never listen to it again.
Okay.
Are me and Chuck going to be on the same island?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm not sure, but wait, I need to know what I need to know. No one's ever asked that before. I think because you asked, you get to choose. So it's up to you.
So can we bring our recording stuff?
No, no, there's no electricity. I don't know how you're playing the song either, but this is a fantasy. So wait, I need to know what cassette you brought with you on vacation that has been ruined forever.
It hasn't, but for a while it was really like I didn't listen to it a lot. It was Look What the Cat Dragged In.
Okay.
I couldn't that it's like I got really sick of that tape quick. And but fascinatingly, I did the same thing with another tape, which was oh my God, Rage for Order, and I didn't quite get as sick of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, but I think there was more going on to it, so it kind of like didn't bore. It's like when you listen to power pop straight, and it's the only thing you've got to listen to on a week-long vacation in a car with your parents, and you got your Walkman on, and it's like, that's it.
You're done.
You're pretty sick of Poison. I love Poison, but
but enough already.
Oh my God, we didn't even mention we're going to do our pop rock EP too that we're coming.
Oh, that's true. But but the jazz I can never get sick of.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know what's coming next, and it's always fresh.
I like that.
And I love Thelonious Monk. So
okay. All right. I think you were the first person to name a jazz album for their Desert Island disc. So there you go.
Which I have downstairs on vinyl.
There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're here. We're at the moment. This is it. This is the final question.
Beer here.
Freaky is in the chat leaving his own interview saying don't do it. Okay. So Chuck, I assume you've heard, but maybe you have not, the insanely controversial landmine-filled area into which you are both about to step. This final question, I don't know exactly how Joe became the poster child for one particular stance here. I do know that literally no one on the planet cares as much about it as Joe does. And I love him for that, even though he might not actually care, but I think he does. So I gotta think, given Joe's stance on this, that I know where you're going to go with this, Chuck. But I will ask the question first of Joe. But we'll just see where we go with this. So you know what's coming. And Dom, shh. Okay. Your toilet paper roll. When you put the toilet paper on the holder, does the toilet paper come from over the top, or do you pull it out from under the bottom, and why? Joe, surprise me with your answer, because I have no idea what you're going to say here. None.
I want to go over Christina.
Really? Over. I am shocked and amazed and astounded. Greg is giggling over here to my left. So, okay.
Going over.
So you have now what you have been clamoring for these many months. You have an unfettered platform from which to make your case once and for all, and no one can argue with you except possibly Chuck, but you go for it. Just
I believe that everybody's discussed this many times. There is a patent out, like how you put a roll of toilet paper on the little holder thingy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thingy thing.
The thingy thing, the freaky thing.
The freaky thing. I mean, Chuck, we really need to market this. I mean, think about this.
I use dude wipes, so
gotta wait.
Hold on, hang on to your dude wipes, whatever the fuck that's gonna be. But go ahead, Joe.
God,
go ahead. This is your moment. This is your moment.
And the argument is that the patents are so old. It's so old, blah, blah, way back in the day. You know, patents change all the time, right? They're updated regularly.
Mm.
So the patents are real. And then I believe we've all spoken on the OverArmy. You know, the numbers. We had the numbers. There's only a few little people that can't get it. And Shannon's young, but she can be, you know, we just need to get her like involved a little bit more with the OverArmy. It'll be good. I think that's where we're at.
Okay. This is
Chucky
it.
has no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't.
But
So Chuck, just so you have a little bit of color on this, we have a running tally of exactly how many people have
do not fuck this up, Chuck.
have answered over, under, other, and then we have its own category, Dean. So the OverArmy, of which your compatriot is the king, I would say, they are vehemently over the top people with the toilet paper. Then we have the UnderArmy. This is Dom from Jamsteak, who is sort of the underlord of that group. Okay. And the OverArmy has over 40 people in it so far. And the UnderArmy has, I think we're just under 10 or about around 10.
There's
we
that
have,
many?
There are that many, it's true.
Oh,
so then we have the other category. Okay, this has involved things like Joel from Grimrock, who wants to put it on a paper towel holder so that it goes sideways instead of over or under. We have the people who don't give a fuck. We have the people who just go by whatever their spouse and or children and or roommates do. We have the people who put it on the back of the toilet tank. We have the people who are just happy to have toilet paper at all. Then we have the baby wipes users. We have a couple of those. We have a bidet person. Okay. And then we have Dean. And Dean from the other broken ones kind of blew the whole thing apart, because what Dean will do...
I'll switch the role.
To?
Whichever direction it's not.
So if he goes into someone's house and it's over, he will take it and change it to under. And if he goes somewhere else and it's under, he will take it and change it to over. He is what I call a shit goblin. And so it is
shit, man.
It is definitely the literal definition of a shit goblin. And so we have over, under, other, Dean. And you've given it away a little bit here, but what the fuck are dude wipes and what is your answer, Chuck?
I like Dean.
Okay, so wait a second. Now, I just want to let everybody know I did not tell Chuck anything.
Okay.
I wanted him to be surprised throughout this whole interview.
He looks pretty surprised. Chuck has looked, I don't know if surprised is the right word. Chuck has had a look approximating surprise for pretty much this entire thing. So I believe you.
I have no idea what any of this is, because I just don't give a fuck. Joe's been at my house. What was it?
Over.
Was it?
Over.
I don't know. Sure.
I probably would have pulled a D move.
In my bathroom, in my room, we've got wipes.
Okay.
We've got toilet paper in there too, but God only knows. But my wife is like, here, buy the wipes. And we were in Walmart the other day and they got something called dude wipes.
Dude wipes.
Dude wipes.
Like,
I'm getting some dude wipes.
Especially scented for the dudes.
Yeah, so is this like, that women have to have pink razors and shit? Like, what is a dude wipe? Does it smell like beer and it like calls you baby and tells you to smile more? Like, what is a dude wipe?
I'm ready to go buy some
dude wipes.
As soon as I'm done with my little pack of wipes my wife gets me, I'm buying dude wipes from now on.
Dude wipes. We're gonna have to look that up. Okay, so we have, I don't know what we call this. I guess Joe, I think he's an other. I think he's a
wipe.
Damn it, Chuck.
Now the rest of my house, he's been here. He said it's over.
I've been there.
No.
Rest of
the house, over or under?
Rest of the house does not count. It is what you do with your own, with your butox, and your butox are being wiped with dudes. Apparently, it's a whole thing. So, all right, for either,
Tell Nico to come over and tell us about the toilet paper thing.
She's like, what?
Come here. Tell her to come
Nico,
in.
come here. Come
Oh
here.
no, this poor child. Don't
Actually,
lead her.
I love
Her name
Nico.
is Nicolette Six.
Nicolette Six.
Yes.
Nick, can you go into our bathroom and tell me if the toilet paper goes over or under? Because it's something that Joe thinks is important.
That child is everyone right now. Like, why are you making me do this?
No, you got to go into our bathroom.
you're
Your bathroom doesn't count.
I'm telling you, you use wipes. This is immaterial. I cannot add it to the tally. Joe
Chuck,
just
I
wants
can't
to be
believe you
able
did
to
that
stay
to
with
me.
you.
I mean, you could have gave me
the doctor comes out when she's born and says, "So you're a Motley Crue fan, right?" And I said, "Well, I'm a photographer fan because Nikki's a photographer, and all my kids are named after photographers."
That's so cool.
It was. He's like, he looked at me like, "You're an idiot."
And you're proving it right now by making your child go and look at the toilet paper on air.
Oh, she brought the whole roll out. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Show it. Everybody look. It's over.
I love that she brought the whole thing with her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Nikki's the star of the show. Okay, all right. But Joe, I'm sorry. He's another. So we have another over, which we knew.
I should have told him what to say.
And we have a dude wiper. Please do not use this as the moment to become voluble in answering one of my questions. I don't want to know about your weird butt.
I can't believe it.
I don't want to. So look at Joe is shook. Thank you, poor child, for bringing over toilet paper. That child, you did not know that she was being brought into the world for this, but there you go. Okay, so there you go. We have a little bit of a shocker here. The king of the OverArmy in a project, we're not calling it a band, in a project with someone who is an other. It could have only been worse if he were an under, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe is shocked.
My wife's an over.
No. Your wife's not in the band.
Right.
It doesn't count.
Well,
okay, so there we go, folks. We have it. We knew we're freaky. We knew where Joe was going with this, but now we know Chuck just subverting expectations. He's an other. And I think that pretty much sums up this whole interview right now and is a good place for us to wrap it up. That we've got freaky things living up to the name. We've got Joe who barely thinks he's in it sometimes, apparently, and then we've got Chuck who doesn't know what's going on, and is not a musician, but that's okay because
you are a thing.
It's true. We've got freaky and we've got things. No, guys, listen, I want everybody, because I know as loved as Freaky Things is in the community, they could definitely use more support on their social media. So please follow, subscribe. Most important, go listen. And we will keep eyes and ears out for the Halloween themed, if not Halloween timed EP that is coming up. And, again, once it will have already come out by the time this is played, but make sure you go and love up Nightmare again, because you heard how fucking awesome it is. And Freaky Joe, thank you for, being such a huge supporter of the show and such a huge member of the community. And Chuck, you have no idea just the iceberg of weirdness that we have tipped for you this evening, but maybe you have a little bit more of a sense now.
It's pretty cool. Christina, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Honestly, this is amazing. You're making me
Greg?
Even talking about stuff that seriously, nobody's ever talked about my music like that before.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Greg.
look, Joe, you got a never before seen on Vox and Guest, not live. This is a Greg sighting.
Yes,
I will stop talking, Greg, so you can say it. Say it.
Freaky.
That is the second bromance of the century. That's it. Freaky and Greg just, but no, Joe, you're and Freaky. Sorry, fuck the who that. Chuck. I'm going back to Chuck. We're gonna end it with Chuck. No, Chuck. I really it is such a pleasure to do this show because I actually get to listen to EPs and albums. I get to listen to everything, and And I get to geek out on music with people who are great. So like, what better way could I possibly spend my time? But just don't be so surprised at how your stuff is landing with people, because this community is supportive, but they also do want good music. So if they support something, they like it. And and I really dig it. I love what you guys are doing, and I'm so glad you're going to keep going with this, because just from everything that I'm hearing released, rather, even if it's older stuff, as you release, Gold and now Nightmare.
Well, it's new to you.
Elevating again.
Yes.
Yeah, it is new to me. It's true. It's true. It's new to me. But no, really, guys, go love them up. Freaky Things. Thank you both for being on the show. Thank Nikki and the toilet paper. We actually had a toilet paper appearance on the show. We were not going to skimp on the budget for season 2. And I think you guys are seeing that now. We had an actual roll of toilet paper on the show. So that's it, guys. That's another Vox and Guest in the books. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Cheers.